Lecture 11. Probability Theory, Random Vectors and Continuous Distributions. So far, we have mainly considered one random variable at a time. We now study pairs of random variables. This leads to joint distributions, marginal distributions, independence, covariance and correlation, and continuous distributions described by density functions. We begin with random vectors. Let omega fp be a probability space. A pair xy from omega to r squared is called a random vector if x and y are random variables. A random vector records two random quantities at the same time. Suppose now that x and y are discrete random variables. Their joint distribution is given by the probabilities p sub xy equal to p of x equals x and y equals y. The marginal distributions are obtained by summing over the other variable. The joint probabilities form a table. The marginal distribution of x is obtained by summing columns, and the marginal distribution of y is obtained by summing rows. We now define independence of random variables. Discrete random variables x and y are independent if, for every x and y, p of x equals x and y equals y is equal to p of x equals x times p of y equals y. Independence means that knowing the value of one random variable does not change the distribution of the other. This is stronger than simply having no linear relationship. Here is a simple example. Roll a fair die twice. Let x be the first result and y the second result. Then x and y are independent because for all I and j between 1 and 6, p of x equals I and y equals j is 1 over 36. This is equal to 1/6 times 1/6, which is p of x equals I times p of y equals j. Next we look at a non-independent example. In an LSD experiment, students were randomly divided into 3 groups before a mathematics exam. The groups received 0, 1 or 2 LSD tablets. Let eta be the number of LSD tablets received. Thus eta can be 0, 1 or 2. Let xi describe the exam outcome. Here x sub I equals 1 means pass and x sub I equals 0 means fail. The observed percentages are shown in the table. We ask whether the random variables xi and eta are independent. From the table we obtain p of xi equals 1 and eta equals 2 is 0.20. The marginal probabilities are p of xi equals 1 is 0.50 and p of eta equals 2 is 0.34. Hence, p of xi equals 1 times p of eta equals 2 is 0.17. Since 0.20 is not equal to 0.17, the random variables xi and eta are not independent. We now introduce covariance and correlation. Let x and y be random variables with finite second moments. Their covariance is e of the product of x minus e of x and y minus e of y. Equivalently, cov of xy equals e of xy minus e of x times e of y. If the variances of x and y are positive, then their correlation coefficient is cov of xy divided by the square root of var of x times the square root of var of y. Independence implies zero covariance. Indeed, if x and y are independent and have finite second moments, then e of xy equals e of x times e of y. Therefore, cov of x, y equals 0. The converse is false. Covariance 0 does not imply independence. Zero covariance only says that there is no linear dependence measured by covariance. In the LSD example, e of xi is 0.50 and e of eta is 1.02. Also, to compute e of xi eta, we use the joint distribution. Since xi can only be 0 or 1, whenever xi equals 0, the product xi eta is 0, so the first row contributes nothing. Only the row xi equals 1 remains. Therefore, e of xi eta equals 0.51. Thus, cov of xi, eta equals 0. Thus, xi and eta are uncorrelated, but as we saw, they are not independent. We also record the range of correlation. If var of x is positive and var of y is positive, then the absolute value of core of x, y is at most 1. Moreover, the absolute value of core of x, y is equal to 1 if and only if there exist constants a and b with b non-zero, such that y equals a plus bx almost surely. In this case, b positive gives correlation 1 and b negative gives correlation -1. We now turn to continuous distributions. A random variable x has a density function f sub x if f sub x is non-negative and the integral of f sub x over the real line is 1. Moreover, for every real number x, the distribution function f sub x of x is equal to p of x less than or equal to x, which is the integral from -infinity to x of f sub x of t dt. For a continuous distribution, p of a less than x less than or equal to b is the integral from a to b of f sub x of t dt. In particular, single points have probability 0. Therefore, the choice of open or closed endpoints does not change the probability of an interval. The shaded part in the picture represents p of a less than x less than or equal to b. This probability is the area under the density curve between a and b. If x has density f sub x, then e of x is the integral over the real line of x f sub x of x dx. Similarly, e of x squared is the integral over the real line of x squared f sub x of x dx, whenever the integrals exist. Here is a density example. Suppose that the length of a phone call, measured in minutes, has density f sub x of x equal to a over x squared for x between 1 and 5 and 0 otherwise. We want to find a and compute the probability that the call lasts between 3 and 10 minutes. The density must integrate to 1. Therefore, 1 equals the integral from 1 to 5 of a over x squared dx. This is 4/5 times a. Thus, a equals 5/4. Now, p of 3 less than x less than 10 is the integral from 3 to 5 of 5 over 4x squared dx, which gives 1/6. The upper limit is 5, not 10, because the density is 0 outside the interval from 1 to 5. We now record two standard continuous distributions. First, the uniform distribution. A random variable x is uniformly distributed on the interval from a to b if its density is 1 over b minus a on the interval from a to b and 0 otherwise. Then e of x equals a plus b over 2 and var of x equals b minus a squared divided by 12. Next, the exponential distribution. A random variable x has exponential distribution with parameter lambda positive if its density is lambda e to the minus lambda x for x positive and 0 for x less than or equal to 0. Then e of x equals 1 over lambda and var of x equals 1 over lambda squared. For x with exponential distribution with parameter lambda, the distribution function is 0 for x less than or equal to 0 and 1 minus e to the minus lambda x for x positive. We now prove the memorylessness property of the exponential distribution. If x has exponential distribution with parameter lambda, then for x and y non-negative, p of x greater than or equal to x plus y, given x greater than or equal to x, equals p of x greater than or equal to y. For the proof, note that p of x greater than or equal to t is e to the minus lambda t for t non-negative. Therefore, p of x greater than or equal to x plus y, given x greater than or equal to x, is e to the minus lambda times x plus y divided by e to the minus lambda x. The quotient is e to the minus lambda y, which is p of x greater than or equal to y. This proves the memorylessness property. Before moving to continuous random vectors, we note that not every random variable is discrete or continuous. For example, let x be the amount of rainfall on a given day. There may be a positive probability that there is no rain at all. That is, p of x equals 0 equals p, where p is between 0 and 1. If it does rain, then the amount of rainfall can vary continuously. Suppose that on the positive half-line, the continuous part is described by h of x equals open parenthesis 1 minus p close parenthesis times lambda e to the minus lambda x for x positive. The picture shows an atom at 0 and a continuous density on the positive half-line. Then x is not discrete because it has a continuous range of possible positive values. It is also not purely continuous in the sense of having only a density, because p of x equals 0 is p, which is positive. Thus x has a mixed distribution. Its distribution function has a jump of size p at 0, and after that it increases continuously. We now move to continuous random vectors. A random vector x, y has joint density f sub x, y if f sub x, y is non-negative and its integral over r squared is 1. For every region A in R squared for which the integral is defined, p of the pair x, y belonging to A is the integral over A of f sub x comma y of x comma y dx dy. For continuous random variables, covariance and correlation are defined in the same way as for discrete random variables. The only difference is that sums are replaced by integrals. If x comma y has joint density f sub x comma y, then e of xy is the integral over r squared of xy f sub x comma y of x comma y dx dy, whenever the integral exists. Hence, covariance of x comma y equals e of xy minus e of x times e of y. If sigma sub x and sigma sub y are positive, then covariance of x comma y equals covariance of x comma y divided by sigma sub x, sigma sub y. Finally, we compute covariance and correlation for a continuous random vector. Let x comma y be uniformly distributed on the triangle T given by 0 less than x less than y less than 1. Since the area of T is 1/2, the joint density is 2 on T and 0 outside T. We compute covariance of x comma y and correlation of x comma y. First, e of x is 2 times the integral from 0 to 1 of the integral from 0 to y of x dx dy. This equals 1/3. Similarly, e of y is 2 times the integral from 0 to 1 of the integral from 0 to y of y dx dy. This equals 2/3. Next, e of xy is 2 times the integral from 0 to 1 of the integral from 0 to y of xy dx dy. This equals 1/4. Therefore, covariance of x comma y equals 1 over 36. We also need the variances. We have e of x squared equals 1/6. Also, e of y squared equals 1/2. Thus, variance of x is 1 over 18, and variance of y is also 1 over 18. Hence, sigma sub x equals sigma sub y equals 1 over 3 square root of 2. Therefore, covariance of x comma y equals covariance of x comma y divided by sigma sub x, sigma sub y, which equals 1/2. So x and y are positively correlated. Larger values of x tend to go together with larger values of y. To summarize, in this lecture we discussed random vectors, joint and marginal distributions, independence of random variables, covariance and correlation, continuous distributions and densities, uniform and exponential distributions, memorylessness of the exponential distribution, mixed distributions, and continuous random vectors.